Welcome back to the podcast playground. Our newest podcast is The Best Podcast.
Join Jay Carter and me, Vida Best, on The Best Podcast, where the dynamic duo brings you their insider secrets to everything wonderful.
Known for their discerning taste, the Best family has critiqued the finest in entertainment, technology, and lifestyle.
Now Jay and me dive deep into the top 5 everything, from the latest cell phones to affordable wines that won't break the bank.
So tell a friend, you've found the Best Podcast,
where every recommendation is a gem waiting to be uncovered. Tune in weekly for your dose of excellence.
Hey everyone, welcome to our best EVs for 2025.
Yeah, we're going to help you figure out which EV might be your perfect match for 2025.
Both of our lists actually feature the Tesla Model 3, the Nissan Leaf, and the Hyundai Ioniq Electric.
Yeah, it seems like those are the big names in the EV world right now.
For sure.
Which makes sense, they're all great cars.
They each kind of have their own strengths though, right?
Totally. Yeah. The Model 3 is like super tech focused.
Right. The Leaf is known for being really reliable, and then the Ioniq is all about practicality.
So there's something for everyone already.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so let's start with the Tesla Model 3.
Okay.
It actually took the top spot on both of our lists today.
Not surprised.
And it got an amazing 4.5 rating from CarMax owners.
Oh, wow.
They were raving about the range, the comfy seats.
Yeah, Teslas are known for being super comfy.
And that smooth Tesla driving experience.
It's hella fun to drive, for sure.
Plus, they even mentioned the visibility is great, which is a big plus for city driving.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
So what about the price?
Well, CarMax has them listed between $20,998 and $46,998.
Okay, so there's a range there depending on the year and condition and all that.
Exactly.
But that gives us a good idea of what to expect.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, the Tech Radar journalist actually had a really interesting take on the Model 3.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
They said they were actually kind of skeptical of Tesla at first.
Really?
Yeah, but they were really impressed by the updated Model 3. What changed their mind?
They loved the refined interior and the build quality.
Oh, wow. So they really stepped it up.
And they were blown away by the tech.
The tech is what Tesla's known for, right?
Yeah, especially the infotainment system and the app.
Ah, yeah. I've heard those are amazing.
The journalist actually said it felt like having a giant smartphone on wheels.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it seems like Tesla's really focusing on software now, too.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They've always been pushing the boundaries with EV technology.
Right, and now they're addressing those earlier criticisms about the build quality and the interior.
While still keeping that cutting-edge tech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the Nissan Leaf.
Okay, the Leaf.
This one is actually a lot more affordable, according to CarMax.
Yeah, how much are we talking?
They have them listed between $12,599 and $22,998.
Wow. That's quite a bit cheaper than the Model 3.
Yeah, it is.
But is it still a good car?
Oh, yeah. It's got a solid 4.3 owner rating on CarMax.
Okay, so people are happy with it.
And it has a 4.5 out of 5 Repair Pal reliability score.
That's impressive.
So if you're looking for an EV that's not going to break the bank and you know it's going to last,
The Leaf might be a good option.
yeah, it might not have all the fancy features of the Model 3.
Right.
But it's reliable and it gets the job done.
And sometimes that's all you need.
Totally.
I like that.
Okay, so next we have the Hyundai Ioniq Electric.
Okay, the Ioniq.
This one is interesting because it got a perfect 5-star rating from CarMax owners.
Wow, everyone loves it.
But CarMax also mentioned that the specs aren't as impressive as some other EVs.
Interesting. So what's the deal with that?
I think it comes down to priorities.
Okay, explain that.
The Ioniq might not be the fastest or the most high-tech EV out there,
Okay.
but CarMax owners were really impressed with the cargo space and the comfortable interior.
Ah, so it's more about practicality and comfort.
Exactly. It seems like Hyundai really focused on making a car that's great for families or people who just want a smooth and spacious ride.
That makes sense. Not everyone needs a super flashy car.
Nope.
Sometimes you just want something that's comfortable and gets you where you need to go.
Exactly. And speaking of Hyundai,
Yeah?
the Tech Radar journalist was super impressed with the Hyundai Ioniq 9.
The Ioniq 9.
Yeah, it actually won an award for Best Family EV of the Year.
Wow, so if you need a lot of space.
This one seems like a great option.
Yeah, Hyundai's really killing it in the EV market.
They're offering a lot of different options.
From the practical Ioniq Electric to the spacious Ioniq 9.
It's impressive.
Definitely. Let's take a quick break.
Sounds good.
And we are back.
Okay, so we've covered the 3 EVs that were on both of our lists.
Those were the big ones.
Now let's run through some of the other notable EVs from CarMax's list.
Okay.
First up is the Chevrolet Bolt EV.
The Bolt.
Yeah, this one's known for having a really impressive range
That's always a good thing.
and a spacious cabin.
Nice.
But there is a trade-off.
Oh, what's that?
The ride can be a bit rough.
So it's not the most comfortable.
Not necessarily.
That.
Next, we have the Tesla Model S.
Oh, the Model S.
This is the luxury option.
So it's going to be pricey.
It is. CarMax has them listed in a higher price range than the Model 3.
Makes sense.
But you get that Tesla badge and all the luxury features.
It's a beautiful car.
It is.
Okay, what else is on the list?
CarMax also mentioned the BMW i3.
The i3.
They praised the agile handling and the sleek interior.
Sounds fun.
It does, but they also said it has limited cargo space.
So style over practicality.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Then there's the Porsche Taycan.
Oh, the Taycan.
Yeah, this one is all about high-performance luxury.
It's going to be fast,
Super fast.
but probably not the most practical.
Well, it actually has a lower range than some of the other EVs we've talked about.
Interesting.
So it's more about that exhilarating driving experience.
Makes sense. It's a Porsche after all.
Exactly.
Okay, what else?
We also have the BMW i4.
The i4.
It's got quick acceleration and a high-end feel.
Sounds nice.
But reviewers have mentioned that the rear legroom is a bit tight.
So not ideal for tall passengers.
Maybe not. And finally, we have the Volvo C40 Recharge.
The C40 Recharge.
Yeah, this one is known for being stylish and quiet.
Sounds luxurious.
It is, but it also has a cramped second row.
So again, style over practicality.
It seems to be a trend.
Yeah, especially with the luxury EVs.
Okay, so those were some of the other top contenders from CarMax.
So we've got the big three and then a bunch of other interesting options.
Yeah, we've got a good mix.
Definitely.
Now let's switch gears and look at some of TechRadar's unique picks.
Okay, these are the EVs that weren't on CarMax's list.
Exactly.
I'm curious to see what they came up with.
Me too.
Let's hear it.
They start off with the Mini Cooper Electric.
The electric Mini.
Yeah. They describe it as a blast from the past, but electric.
I love that.
The journalist was really impressed with the fun-to-drive character.
Minis are known for being fun to drive.
And they loved the retro-inspired tech.
Oh, that's cool.
Plus, the range is way better than the previous electric Mini.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, they really seem to have improved it.
It sounds like Mini managed to keep that iconic design, but they brought it into the EV era.
Exactly.
That's a tough balance to strike.
It is.
But it sounds like they did a good job.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, what's next? Okay, so what's next on TechRadar's list?
Next up is the Polestar 4.
The Polestar 4.
This one really caught the journalist's eye.
Oh, why is that?
Well, first of all, it's got really powerful performance.
Okay, so it's fast.
Yeah. But they were also intrigued by the design.
What's so special about the design?
It actually has no rear window.
No rear window.
Yeah, pretty wild, right?
That is pretty wild. How do you see at the back?
I guess you use the cameras and the mirrors.
I guess so.
But it's not just about looks.
Okay.
The Polestar 4 is also really focused on sustainability and well-being.
Oh, that's cool.
They use a lot of eco-friendly materials.
Interesting.
And they've integrated features that are supposed to make the driving experience more calm and comfortable.
So it's like a Zen EV.
Kind of.
I like it.
Okay, so next we have the Dacia Spring.
The Dacia Spring.
TechRadar calls this one the budget-friendly champion.
So it's affordable.
Super affordable.
But is it any good?
The journalist was actually surprised by how capable it is.
Really?
Yeah, even though it has pretty basic features.
So it's like a no-frills EV.
Yeah, but it still gets the job done.
And it's affordable.
Exactly.
That's great. It shows that EVs are becoming more accessible.
Totally. It's not just a luxury option anymore.
Right. There are EVs for every budget now.
Okay, so now for something a little more luxurious.
Bring it on.
We have the Maserati GranCabrio Folgore.
The Maserati.
Yeah, this one is an electric convertible.
Wow. So you can enjoy the open air and zero emission.
Exactly. It combines high-end performance with that classic Maserati style.
It's impressive how even these luxury car makers are going electric.
Right. It shows that EVs can be just as elegant and powerful as gas-powered cars.
Totally.
Okay, so remember the Porsche Macan EV that we talked about earlier?
Yeah, the one from CarMax's list.
The TechRadar journalist drove this one too.
And what did they think?
They were impressed.
Okay.
They said it's a great blend of performance and practicality.
So it's got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, but they did mention that it's expensive.
I mean, it's a Porsche, so that's not surprising.
True.
But it's good to know that they're making EVs that are both fun to drive and practical for everyday life.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what's the last one on TechRadar's list?
Last but not least, we have the Kia EV3.
The EV.
Tech Radar calls this one the all-rounder.
Oh, so it's like the Goldilocks of EVs.
Yeah, just right.
I like it.
It's supposed to appeal to a wide range of drivers.
What makes it so appealing?
Well, it's practical, it's affordable, and it has a really impressive range.
So it's kind of got it all.
Yeah, it seems like a really well-rounded option.
It's great that there are EVs like this that can fit so many different needs.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see how much the EV market has grown.
Totally. There are so many great options out there now.
Okay, so we've gone through all the top contenders from both of our lists.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
What are your thoughts so far?
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Honestly, I knew there were a lot of EVs out there, but I didn't realize how many different options there were.
Yeah, and each one kind of has its own personality.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's not just about choosing electric or gas anymore.
Right. You have to decide what features are most important to you.
Exactly. Do you want something techy or something reliable? Or maybe you need a lot of space.
Or maybe just want something that's fun to drive.
Yeah, there's an EV for every need.
Okay, so now I want to talk about some broader considerations for EV ownership.
Okay, like what?
Well, Kelley Blue Book actually has a lot of great information about this.
Oh, cool. I love Kelley Blue Book.
They talk about the perks of owning an EV, but they also highlight some of the potential challenges.
So they're giving us the whole picture.
Exactly. Let's start with the benefits.
Okay.
One of the biggest benefits is obviously the cost savings on gas.
Yeah, that's a big one.
You're basically saying goodbye to the gas station.
And hello to more money in your pocket.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that.
Plus, there's the environmental benefit.
Right. EVs don't produce any tailpipe emissions.
So you're helping to create a cleaner planet.
That's always a good thing.
And Kelley Blue Book also mentioned that EVs typically require less maintenance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can say goodbye to oil changes and all those other routine things you have to do with a gas-powered car.
So you're saving money on maintenance, too.
Oh, exactly.
That's awesome.
Okay, but now let's talk about some of the challenges.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, one of the biggest challenges is the upfront cost.
Yeah, EVs can be more expensive than gas-powered cars.
They can be, but that gap is closing.
That's good to hear.
And you have to factor in the potential savings on gas and maintenance.
Right. It's more of an investment.
Yeah, think of it that way.
Okay, so what's another challenge?
Kelley Blue Book also mentioned battery replacement.
Oh, yeah. That can be expensive.
It can be, but a lot of EV makers offer really extensive warranties on their batteries.
But that gives you some peace of mind.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about a huge expense right away.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Another challenge that Kelley Blue Book brought up is the limited driving range of some EVs.
Right. That's what people call range anxiety.
Exactly. It's a real concern for people who drive long distances.
Especially if you're going on a road trip or something.
Yeah, but the good news is that EV technology is getting better all the time.
So the ranges are increasing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of newer EVs can go over 300 miles on a single charge.
Wow, that's impressive.
And the charging infrastructure is improving too.
There are more charging stations popping up everywhere.
It's becoming less of an issue.
That's good to know.
Kelley Blue Book also wanted to debunk some common EV myths.
Oh, yeah. What myth?
One myth is that all EVs feel the same.
Oh, I've heard that one.
But just like with gas-powered cars, different EV brands offer different driving experiences.
So you can still find an EV that fits your personality.
Exactly.
I like that.
They also address the myth that performance cars need a roaring engine.
Some people just love that engine series.
I know, but EVs can be just as quick, if not quicker, than gas-powered cars.
Really?
They offer instant torque and amazing acceleration.
Wow. So you can still get that thrill of speed.
Absolutely.
That's good to know.
It's important to remember that the EV market is constantly evolving.
Yeah, things are changing so fast.
What might be a problem today could be solved tomorrow.
It's exciting to think about what the future holds.
Totally.
Okay, so what else did Kelley Blue Book talk about?
They also got into the nitty-gritty of EV charging.
Okay, like how to charge your car?
Yeah, they started with home charging.
So you can charge your car at home?
You can. It's super convenient.
I bet.
You just plug it in overnight like you would your phone.
And you wake up with a full charge.
Exactly. It's like having your own personal gas station.
That's awesome.
But of course, not everyone can charge at home.
Right. So what about public charging stations?
Kelley Blue Book breaks down the different types of public chargers.
Okay, let's hear it.
First, you have level 1 charging.
Level 1.
This uses a standard household outlet.
Okay.
But it's the slowest option. It only adds a few miles of range per hour.
So it's not ideal for a quick charge.
Not really.
Okay, what's next? Then you have level 2 charging. This uses a 240-volt outlet.
Okay, so it's faster.
Much faster. You can add around 10 to 60 miles of range per hour.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good option for people who can charge at home or at work.
Makes sense.
And then you have DC fast charging.
DC fast charging.
This is the fastest option. It uses high voltage to add up to 200 miles of range in just 30 minutes.
Wow, that's super fast.
It is. It's great for when you're on a road trip and you need a quick boost.
Yeah, but not all EVs are compatible with DC fast charging, right?
That's right. You have to make sure your car is compatible.
Okay, good to know.
Kelley Blue Book also recommends mapping out your route in advance if you're going on a road trip.
So you can find charging stations along the way.
Exactly. And you can factor charging time into your travel plans.
That's smart. It helps minimize range anxiety.
For sure.
Anything else about charging? They also talked about charging etiquette.
Charging etiquette.
Yeah, like don't unplug someone else's car unless it's fully charged.
Right. That's rude.
And don't hog a charging spot.
Yeah. Be mindful of other people.
It's all about being a responsible member of the EV community.
Makes sense.
Okay, so what about the cost of charging?
I was wondering about that.
Kelley Blue Book said it varies depending on where you charge and the electricity rates in your area.
So it's not always the same.
Nope.
But they did give some tips for saving money, right?
They did. They suggested taking advantage of off-peak charging rates.
Oh, so charge your car at night when electricity is cheaper.
Exactly.
Smart.
And they said to look for free charging stations?
Free charging stations.
Yeah, some businesses and municipalities offer them.
That's awesome.
And they even suggested considering solar panels.
Solar panels.
Yeah, you could generate your own electricity.
That would be amazing.
And it would make charging basically free.
I love it.
Okay, so one last thing about charging. Some people are concerned that the electricity used to charge EVs comes from power plants that burn fossil fuels.
Yeah, so it's not truly green energy.
But Kelley Blue Book emphasized that even when you factor that in, EVs still have a much lower carbon footprint than gas-powered cars.
Yeah, so it's still better for the environment.
Much better.
It's good to hear.
And the more we move towards renewable energy sources,
like solar and wind power?
the greener EV charging will become.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of information about EVs today.
We have. It's been a really informative deep dive.
We've talked about the top contenders, the pros and cons of EV ownership, and even the details of charging.
I feel like I know so much more about EVs now.
Me too. But before we wrap up, I want to zoom out a little bit.
Yeah.
And look at some of the broader trends that are shaping the EV landscape.
So like the big picture.
Exactly. And Kelley Blue Book has some great insights on this as well.
Cool. Let's hear it.
They talk about how government incentives and regulations are playing a huge role in EV adoption.
Oh, yeah, like tax credits and rebates.
Exactly. Those are encouraging people to buy EVs.
And what about regulations?
Governments are also setting emissions standards.
So car makers have to produce more EVs.
It's a two-pronged approach.
All right.
And it's working. We're seeing a global push towards electrification.
So it's not just happening in the U.S.
Nope. It's a worldwide trend.
That's exciting.
It is. Some countries are further along than others.
Like Norway.
Exactly. Norway is a great example.
Yeah.
They have really ambitious goals and supportive policies.
So they're leading the charge.
They are.
What else is driving the EV revolution?
Kelley Blue Book also highlights the importance of battery technology advancements.
Right. The battery is like the heart of the EV.
Exactly. And it's getting better all the time.
In what ways?
Well, we're seeing longer ranges, faster charging times, and more affordable battery packs.
So the technology is improving on all fronts.
It is. And that's making EVs more appealing to a wider range of people.
Yeah, it's addressing a lot of the concerns that people have about EVs. It's amazing to think about how far battery technology has come in just a few years.
It really is, and it's only going to get better.
Imagine EVs with ranges that are comparable to gas-powered cars.
And charging times that are just as fast as filling up at a gas station.
That would be a game changer.
It would completely eliminate range anxiety.
I can't wait.
What else is Kelley Blue Book talking about?
I'm hooked on this trend talk.
They also mention the expanding charging infrastructure.
Oh yeah, that's important.
It is. And we're not just talking about more charging stations.
Oh.
We're talking about smarter, more connected charging networks.
So what does that mean?
Well, think about apps that can help you locate chargers.
Oh, that'll be useful.
And you can reserve charging spots and even pay for your charging session through the app.
That's so convenient.
It is. It's all about making the charging experience as seamless as possible.
That's great.
And with companies like Tesla, Electrify America, and ChargePoint investing heavily in charging infrastructure.
We're going to see a lot more charging options in the near future.
Yeah, it's growing rapidly.
That's good to hear.
What else is Kelley Blue Book saying?
I'm all ears.
They're also talking about the growing awareness and acceptance of EVs.
So people are becoming more open to the idea of driving electric.
Exactly. The more people experience the benefits of EVs firsthand,
The less hesitant they are to make the switch.
it's like a snowball effect.
The more EVs we see on the road,
The more people will consider buying one.
it makes sense.
And car makers are playing a huge role in this too.
How so?
They're shifting their strategies, and a lot of them are committing to all-electric lineups in the next few years.
Wow, so they're going all in on EVs.
Yeah, it's not a question of if anymore.
It's a question of when?
Exactly. EVs are the future of transportation.
And with companies like Ford, GM, and Volkswagen joining the EV party,
We're going to see a huge wave of new electric models hitting the market.
that's awesome. More options for everyone.
And they'll be catering to a wider range of needs and budgets.
It's a really exciting time to be an EV enthusiast.
It really is.
Okay, so what's the takeaway from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the EV revolution is happening.
It's happening right now.
We're seeing advancements in technology, government support, growing awareness, and a huge shift in the auto industry.
It's all coming together.
And it's creating a really exciting future for transportation.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Me too.
So what do we do now?
Well, now it's up to you to decide which EV is right for you.
Right. We've given you all the information.
Now you have to choose your electric adventure.
Which one will it be?
Will it be the techie Tesla Model 3?
Or the reliable Nissan Leaf?
Or maybe the practical Hyundai Ioniq Electric?
Or maybe one of those unique picks from Tech Radar?
The choice is yours. But no matter what you choose,
You're joining a movement towards a cleaner, more sustainable future.
and that's something to be excited about.
It seems like governments are really stepping up to encourage people to go electric. Yeah, they're definitely playing a big role. But Kelley Blue Book also talks about how important these advancements in battery technology are.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, we're seeing longer ranges, faster charging times.
Uh-huh. And more affordable battery packs, too.
It's pretty amazing how much the batteries have improved.
Yeah, it's really the key to the whole EV revolution.
And it's just going to keep getting better.
Exactly. Like, imagine a world where EVs can go just as far as gas-powered cars.
And you can charge them up just as quickly.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
No more range anxiety.
No, ranging anxiety would be a thing of the past.
So what else is Kelley Blue Book highlighting?
Well, they also talk about the charging infrastructure and how it's expanding so rapidly.
Yeah, we're seeing more and more charging stations popping up everywhere.
Right, but it's not just about the number of chargers.
Okay, what else?
It's also about how they're connected and how easy they are to use.
So like what kind of stuff?
Well, think about apps that can help you find chargers wherever you are.
Oh yeah, that would be super helpful.
And you can even reserve a spot in advance, so you know you'll be able to charge when you get there.
That's so smart.
And you can pay for your charging session right through the app.
Wow, so convenient.
Yeah, they're really trying to make the whole charging experience as seamless as possible.
That's awesome.
And with companies like Tesla and Electrify America and ChargePoint all investing so much money into charging infrastructure.
I bet we're going to see even more progress in the next few years.
Yeah, it's definitely a growing industry.
Okay, so what else is Kelley Blue Book saying about the EV landscape?
Well, they also point to the fact that more and more people are becoming aware of EVs and accepting them as a viable option.
So the stigma is starting to fade.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like the more people see EVs on the road and the more they hear about the benefits.
The more open they are to the idea of driving one.
Exactly. And car makers are really pushing this transition too.
Oh yeah, how so?
Well, a lot of them are actually committing to all-electric lineups in the near future.
Wow, so they're going all in on EVs?
Yeah, it's a huge shift in the industry.
It seems like EVs are really becoming the future of transportation.
And with all these big companies like Ford and GM and Volkswagen joining the EV game,
We're going to see a ton of new electric models coming out soon.
which means more choices for consumers.
And hopefully more affordable options too.
That would be great.
It's honestly such an exciting time to be following the EV market.
I know, right? There's so much happening.
So much innovation and so much potential.
It feels like we're on the cusp of a real transportation revolution.
I think we are.
And it's powered by electricity.
So where do we go from here?
Well, I think the next step is for everyone to start doing their own research and figuring out which EV is right for them.
Right, we've given you all the information.
Now it's time to choose your electric adventure.
Will it be the Tesla Model 3?
Or the Nissan Leaf.
Or the Hyundai Ioniq Electric?
Or maybe something else entirely.
There are so many great options out there.
And no matter what you choose, you're joining a movement.
A movement towards a cleaner and more sustainable future.
And that's something to be proud of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a lot of fun exploring the world of EVs with you today.
And we hope you learned a lot.
We'll be back soon with more expert insights.
Until then, happy charging, everyone.
See you next time.